Looks like we're live. All right, so today is gonna be a little different. I wanted to talk about something, get it off my chest. So last Friday, I was doing my workout, and after, I wasn't that sore. So, in my mind, first thing I thought of was, oh, I didn't work hard enough. And really, that's really kind of silly. The more I think about it, the more I realize that's still that no pain, no gain mentality I have. That's sort of a habit for me. And I do the same thing with diet, where if I don't feel awful, I feel like I'm not losing weight fast enough. Now, it doesn't matter what the scale's saying. I could be losing a pound or two a week. If I don't feel bad, I'm like, oh, I feel like I could be pushing farther. And can we agree that's just not what we want in our workout or our weight loss? We want results, right? So we don't want to feel awful. We want to just get what the result we're looking for. But there's still something in my brain that says I need to feel bad after doing this to feel like I'm making progress or feel like it's effective. And that's not really healthy. So I'm working on that and trying to retrain how I think about things. So it's not about soreness. It's not about feeling bad after from not eating. It's about the loss of weight on the scale or how much weight I'm pushing in an exercise, maintaining that muscle health and size. It's a hard habit to beat though. I see this, and it's so easy to see in other people, but it's so hard to manage in myself. So in other people, I see it a lot in boot camps where people go in and they go all out without having ever trained before. And they feel terrible after, so they feel like they got a good workout in, but then they never go back. So it's not about their results or what consistently they're getting from the workout. It's just about feeling like they accomplished something. So instead of doing that, what I'm gonna try and keep focused on is objective measurements, like how much weight am I losing on the scale? How many reps am I doing? How much weight am I pushing? Am I progressing in the exercises? Am I seeing and this is a little less objective, but seeing larger muscles. Muscle size is objective, but the subjective part is, am I seeing it or not? So as I decrease fat, that's an objective measure of what's the weight on the scale. And I'm gonna try and stick to those more than what I subjectively feel about the workout. Now, it's okay to have a workout that makes you feel tired. I think that's important. There's a difference between tired and so sore that you feel like you're in pain. And I think that's the thing that is really hard for me to kick, is that idea that I need to work so hard that I'm almost crippled after. Now I want these to be challenging, so I'm trying to get a weight that's actually going to put stress on my body, but not so much stress that I'm just unable to move the next day. I mean, does anyone really want that? Like, to not be able to move after? No, of course not. But it's so hard for me to get past that in my brain of, did I actually work hard or not? I think part of that comes from training so much in martial arts, because usually after a really intense competition for like boxing, for sparring, you feel kind of beat up, where your body needs that recovery time. So it's, in a weird way, it feels like it's almost earned rest. Hey B2, good to see you. Welcome to the stream. And that's gotten kind of twisted in my brain a little bit, where it's overemphasized. How do I feel subjectively, not how am I doing objectively? How you feeling, B2? How your workouts going? Doing good. How are you? Haven't worked out in about 4 days. Oh man, that's kind of a long rest period, but sometimes that can be good to give your body time to recover. Gonna lock in today though. Excellent. Good getting back on to that routine. I'm just coming back from a 2-day break for the weekend. Just saying, I didn't really feel sore over the weekend. That made me feel like I wasn't really pushing as hard as I could, but then I realized how silly that idea was. Because I was pushing hard. I think a lot of the things I've done in my recovery have really helped. Something I've been doing just recently, I was listening to a doctor of exercise science talk about this, is having a higher amount of protein after a workout. I was doing a protein shake, but now I've added some extra protein into my meal where I get more like 40 to 50 grams of protein rather than just 25 post-workout. And I found that's actually really helped me not feel as sore. So I like to do full body workouts. What's your next workout gonna be? B2 says, I couldn't work out because I was keeping up with my diet. I hear you. Sometimes, I know for me, when I'm dieting or when I'm losing weight, I feel sore for longer because my body doesn't have as many calories. Though I found that adding that extra protein post-workout has really helped a lot with that for me. So were you feeling like you just had very low energy from the diet? Oh no, paid rent and now you have to starve? That's no good. I feel like that sometimes is kind of college. Hopefully you find something that works well for you. I found oatmeal. It's a really inexpensive thing to eat. It's got pretty good carb and protein macros. Yeah, college life. Yeah, sometimes I definitely can relate to that. I didn't eat nearly as well in college as I would like, especially my freshman and sophomore year. That was when I got to be the most unhealthy I think I ever was, because I was eating a lot more just junk food because it was what was available. That was when I was 265 pounds. So I wasn't starving, I just wasn't getting good quality food. Oh. So that's the thing, is it's kind of funny because you think, oh, you're 265, like how could you not be eating? But I wasn't eating good quality food, so my body was still craving those nutrients. So my brain would tell my body to eat, but it wouldn't get the protein, it wouldn't get the things that actually help you feel full. It was just a lot of empty calories. Still work out though, hopefully you don't pass out. Well, be careful. You don't want to be actually dropping so deep into your blood sugar. You can actually, your body will start getting energy where it can. And if there's nothing to really build the muscle with, then you can actually cause more injury. So just be careful. I know I tended to be really extreme like that. Even when I was really feeling bad, I'd still try and work out. And I ended up causing myself problems because of that, where I might pull a muscle. I pulled my hamstring so many times working out in martial arts where I wouldn't properly warm up, I would be feeling bad, and I wouldn't be paying attention. And those can happen a lot easier when you are don't have the right food, don't have enough calories, where you're feeling hungry and starving. Your body will slow down your metabolism if you get below if you get too low in calories. I do say though, you have a great work ethic that you're still pressing on and doing a workout. Just be careful to not push yourself too far. Oh. So, I know for me, there was one period of time I've struggled with eating and food, especially because of allergies. I have a really negative relationship with food that I'm working at getting better at. because a lot of foods hurt me because I'm allergic to them. So it's hard to break that association. There was a period of time where I was eating so few calories, I lost weight down to 170 pounds. And at 6'1", 170 pounds is pretty light. And it got to a point where even just, I was in a work meeting for marketing and just had to excuse myself from the meeting because I was so drained, my body couldn't even think anymore. And that's also not a healthy spot. You don't want to overeat, but you also don't want to undereat, because both of those are pitfalls. People think of it, oh, one's good, one's bad. One, you're losing weight, you're looking healthy. One, you're gaining weight, and that's bad. But really, both are pitfalls that you want to avoid. You're about 171 pounds and 6'2". Wow, so you're even taller than I am. That's very light. Yeah, I know how that feels to be that light at that height. There are some at that height, I felt really lightweight. Like proportionally, my muscles were a lot stronger compared to my full body weight because I had so much less weight holding me down. But overall, I personally had lost too much weight too quickly. Now, I will say the mistake I made is I tried to gain that weight back really fast. So I just ate thousands of extra calories per day for about 2 weeks to try and get back up to gain 10 pounds back up quickly. If I had done it different, I would do that differently now, because if you gain weight quickly, it goes to the fat, not to the muscle nearly as much. A lot more of that is absorbed by your fat cells. So because of that, what I would do differently now is try and just add gradual weight back up of, let's say, 250 to maybe at most like 400 calories extra a day, not 1,500 calories extra every day. I was eating 2 extra meals every day, which is probably somewhere around about mid 1000s, between 700 and 800 calories per meal. So if I was to do it differently now, I wouldn't try and gain weight quickly, but I would try and gain weight steadily. If you're able to, adding in that an extra 250 calories per day can really help add to that muscle building you get. But if you want to build muscle, definitely you're gonna need to have more calories. Really need to figure out a way to budget diet. Absolutely, I hear you. I think that's been a hard thing for me too, of trying to not overspend on high protein foods. I found for me, one of the most effective ways of budgeting protein was going with a whey powder, and I buy in bulk. So if you're interested and if this was gonna work for you, I have affiliate links down below for a protein powder that's high quality, that's relatively inexpensive. Protein is kind of the expensive part of any budget for food, but I found in evaluating things like chicken, steak, hamburger, things like that, protein powder was a cheaper source of protein. And for me, trying to hit my protein goals, that was the way I made it work for my budget. So if you're interested and if it helps, I have affiliate links down below. But if you find another option that works well for you, that's great. Okay. Sometimes eggs can be a really good source of protein that are less expensive. Because eggs tend to be cheaper or less expensive than meat, but still are a great source of complete protein. B2 says I'm surviving on 5 eggs a day. Hey, that's good. So you get working eggs in. That might be a bit low. Hang on a moment. I have to look up how much protein an egg has. So that's 30 grams of protein from the eggs. But if you're 170 pounds, you want to shoot for you want to be over 100 grams of protein in a day. Desperate times, desperate measures. And hey, if that's what you can afford, it's great you're getting that protein in. If you can find sources of protein to supplement that, that would be a great thing. I hear you. Desperate times though, if that's what you can do, then that is a high quality source of protein. Keep on going with that. The more you can get protein in, the better. I know that was a thing for me for a long time, especially growing up. We didn't have a whole lot in my family growing up. And I mean, my parents were really loving, really kind. It's just, I know also I wasn't aware of how much protein my body needed. So I didn't prioritize trying to get more protein in. I had a lot more cereal and things that was not necessarily as high protein. But as I've grown up as an adult and studied exercise science and nutrition and continued to learn, my body actually needs a lot more protein than I realized as a kid, as a teenager. So I've tried to make that more of a priority. If I could go back and change one thing, I would have started eating more protein at a younger age, and I would have done resistance training earlier, building up muscle when I was younger. You can still build muscle after 30, but I feel like I could have gotten more muscle back when my body had higher hormone levels. So I'm assuming that my hormones have gone down since then. But even still, just getting the 10 years of lifting, building up more muscle with higher protein. Just curious, what protein source is your guys' favorite? I know B2 talked about eggs, and that's a great source. What protein do you guys usually like to use? Do you do eggs? Do you do plant-based? Some people do soy. I know for me, soy does not work because I'm actually, I'm allergic to it. So I know some people, there's a big debate about is soy good or not? And I just know personally for me, soy is not good because my immune system reacts to it. But I think it's actually a cheaper source than whey protein. Now it's been a while. There might, I haven't looked into soy that much. I believe it's still thought to be a complete protein where you've got leucine in it. I don't know how much leucine it has though compared to a meat source. But you definitely want to make sure, I know all the animal proteins like eggs, cheese, meats, all are complete proteins where your body is able to use them to build up muscle with just the protein found in that meat or in that animal product. So if you don't do animal products, there are still options. There are vegetarian options or vegan options, but you want to make sure that you're getting a complete protein in. This kind of became a diet and nutrition stream. So I've limited expertise in that. Took nutrition and I have a degree in exercise science, but that is a very complicated topic all in of itself. I am not a nutritionist or a dietitian, so this is just only from my own personal experience of what works well for me. Just my opinions. Oh. You know, I have had to work a lot at figuring out what is a good food, not only from a budget standpoint, but because I have so many food allergies, I have to really be careful about what I eat. So I can't do rice, I can't do soy, and I can't do any animal that was fed rice or soy. So a lot of times chickens are fed soy, so I have to be very careful about the eggs I eat. Actually, this last month, got some chicken eggs, and suddenly eating them was having rashes and my body and joints were swelling. I was feeling really bad because I was reacting to the soy in them. And so that makes it very difficult to have a good relationship with food, because sometimes it's just a catches you off guard, or it catches me off guard where I suddenly eat something and feel really sick from it. And that kind of associates this food is bad. Part of the reason I didn't eat beef very much for a long time was because they feed cows things I'm allergic to a lot. So I'm corn, soy, rice, and if the cows fed it, then it'll show up in the meat of the cow. And I have problems eating that. So I think that's a really important thing when you're doing, looking for a good source, finding something that's gonna work for you. For me, I do grass-fed beef because I find that that's the best source of protein for me, or grass-fed whey protein are the two things that I really get a lot of my protein from. It's kind of weird. As I was losing weight, or as I am losing weight, stuff that I think, this is just speculation, but I think it's allergens that are stored in my fat and have been for a long time are getting released. Because I'm getting just swelling in my hands out of nowhere. I don't know if you can see this, but my hands have a little bit of, that's kind of hard to see on camera. They get dried out and cracked and kind of swollen. And a lot of that, I know I'm not eating anything that I'm allergic to, but my body is still having an allergic reaction to things. So it's kind of an added difficulty of losing weight is the first time I get down to a lower weight, my body spends a couple days flushing that out of my system. And right now I'm trying to actually drop weight while working out. So I'm keeping that muscle mass, but trying to lose as much fat as possible. Whew. I don't know how common that is though, so we can talk, let's talk about something else. Hey, thank you. Good to see you. And 12. So I'm up to 12 reps on this. I'm trying to add 1 rep each week so that I'm always progressing the exercise. So I'm keeping it with the red band and just adding 1 rep per week and trying to keep that moving up in difficulty. So as my muscles get stronger, as they get more endurance and build up, they keep on being challenged by adding just a little bit more every week. I've really been liking doing resistance bands more than dumbbells on some of these exercises, because I feel like I have better control over the movement. Now, dumbbells are just fine, but especially I found in the rows. So being able to do a row like this with a band pulling to the back, instead of having to do a bent over row with a dumbbell where I'm down like this, I found for me, my hamstrings are so tight on my left side especially, that it's hard to get a completely bent over row without my back rounding a little bit, because this hamstring's so tight. So I'm working at stretching that and getting it to lengthen. Also, I'm doing stiff-legged deadlift to get that muscle to strengthen in that lengthened position. And eventually I want to be able to go back to dumbbells on some of these exercises. I think dumbbells are a great tool, so are bands. Today we're working with bands. So I wanted to try something. So moving to legs, what I wanted to do is see if I could get, that one's not going to be quite long enough. I wanted to see about doing legs with bands today. So instead of doing dumbbells, I'm going to just keep it exclusively to bands. So we're going to do more of a high bar squat and see how it feels. So stepping in the middle of the band, bringing the hands up to the shoulders, feet about shoulder width apart. So this would be just like me having a bar on my shoulders. I'm gonna see how this actually feels. So I'm gonna bend down, going as low as I can to the ground, push back up. That feels all right. Sometimes this can be a little bit tough on my low back to have the band or something up high like this where it's really leveraging my back. But I think that feels okay. Trying to keep my chest up. And go all the way down low, where I'm really letting those muscles lengthen. All right, staying in this position, I'm gonna do a good morning. So it's like a bow to the front, pushing my hips to the back, back up. It's a little bit more awkward with bands because the band wraps around your elbow. But still really hitting my hamstrings, where I feel that tension in all the way through the back of my leg. Oh. So with that, I'm really trying to drive my hips back. So I'm feeling that right back here in the back of my thigh. So chat, what do you think? Do you like doing legs with upper body, or do you like doing legs as its own day for working out? I'm kind of mixed on it. I think for my schedule, it works best to include it all in one day. I tend to do full body on Monday and Friday to give my legs plenty of time to recover between. So if you're liking this workout, want to see more, I host these live streams on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. I do all my workouts live on stream, so if you want to join me in this journey or just to stop in and talk, love to see you hit that subscribe button and the bell to be here when we go live. I do one more set of legs. All right. So I'm trying to keep my back straight and bend from my knees. We could do some stretching after resistance training. What do you guys think? I know I like to do stretching sometime after the workout. Sometimes right after, sometimes later in the day. But I think at least stretching my hamstrings would be really good at the end here. All right, last set. I can feel the difference in doing this exercise. I can keep my back much straighter because I've been working on my hamstring flexibility. Now, I've been doing that a bit off stream, doing stretching, as I do it. Been trying to do 3 times a day, stretching that hamstring, just for 30 seconds at a time when I have the opportunity. I'll show you the stretch that I do. So it's not really a live stream sort of thing I can do, but that is something I'm doing on my own. I do stretching and I do walking for cardio. So I try and get at least 8,000 steps a day, but everything I do resistance training wise is done live on stream. All right, so we'll end with a hamstring stretch. So what I do for this, lay on my back with my hip right against a post or a door frame. So hips flat against that wall or door frame. And what I'm gonna do is try and push my foot into the post. So I'm driving into that post, feeling that stretch in the back of my thigh. So I'm pushing my hips down to the ground and pushing my heel down into the post till I feel that stretch feeling in the back of my thigh. I'm holding this for 30 seconds. It's important to hold that stretch where you feel that tension. We're actually getting the nerves used to that stretch position. Now, if you need to have your knee bent more, if it feels like too intense of a stretch where it's painful, I would just start with my knee bent a little bit more. I've been working on this for about a week, and I'm already able to straighten out that knee more to get a better stretch into the hamstring. When I first started this, my leg was more like this, where it was really bent up. Now I can get it a bit straighter and get that stretch in. I think a lot of people neglect stretching because sometimes maybe they don't know how, and I find that a lot of people benefit from doing stretching. They don't realize how much better it feels. You once hyperextended your knee accidentally while stretching. Oh no. So that's too much stretching. You want to be careful to not overdo it. I would say keeping a slight bend in the knee is a good idea on this one. Because what B2 is saying is it straightened his knee so much it actually hyperextended it where it put pressure at the front of the knee, and that can actually cause problems where you can hurt your knee doing it that way. So what I would recommend, instead of thinking about your knee straight, is think about pushing down with your hips. So I'm actually driving my hips down into the ground, because that's going to tip your entire pelvis, your hips, so that you're pulling that muscle from the hip more than you are from the knee. Now, that way you're not locking your knee and trying to really put pressure at the front like that. You're trying to pull down from this base into the ground. So you're pulling this way with your hips into that ground. Now, trying to get your knee straighter is okay. I wouldn't ever completely lock your knee. Got to start counting on this, so I'm going to try and hold it for 30 seconds from this point. Trying to keep that under tension. Now, my left leg is actually a lot tighter than my right leg is on this. I feel like my right leg is pretty good, but stretching it helps maintain that flexibility. So I'm still gonna stretch it, hold it for that full 30 seconds to keep the flexibility I have. And relax. So, stretching is good for the muscles, for not only increasing that range of motion, but also it can help, sort of like resistance training, can actually help build muscle a little bit to stretch. So it's more of a flexibility priority with a little bit of strength building, as opposed to resistance training, which is more strength building, and a little bit of flexibility. So it's sort of the other side of the equation. So if you're liking this content, it would help me out and help support the channel if you'd hit that like button to let me know you want more content like this. I hope to see you guys live Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. It's good to see you, good talking with you, and hope you have a wonderful day.